This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. So here you guys can see what is our table name. Flight ticket issues. I'm just clicking on new here.
Can you please share your screen?
Yeah. Okay. Hope you all are able to see my screen.
Yeah.
So in the left navigation, you can just type flight ticket issues. So these are the things that we had actually created. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember this?
Yes, okay.
So create flight issue, list of flight issues. How did we create this one? So
From
we
application menus.
Application menu. Under the application menu, we have created the modules. Okay, when I click on this one, it will navigate you to the new form. Okay, so guys, I'm actually creating. So this is actually name of number of users. Number of users. So here, if you have selected able tutor here, if you have selected able tutor here, so able tutor is not actually the member. So if you have selected Rangareddy here, so the same Rangareddy name you should not be able to select here. My customer requirement is you have selected able tutor here, right? Same you have selected Rangareddy here, right? Same Rangareddy name you should not be able to select here. Now you are able to select Rangareddy name here. See, so here customer name you have selected, number of users Rangareddy name you have again selected. So as per the customer requirement, whomever the user you selected, the same username should not be here in the number of users. Okay, so consider, so first he has actually filled this field, Rangareddy. So if you have selected Rangareddy here, the same Rangareddy name should not be, you should not be able to select here. That means if you select one user here, the same user should not be present in this field. If you select one user here, same user should not be present here in the customer. Hope you understand the requirement clearly.
Yeah.
Hope you understand the requirement clearly. Okay. For that, what am I doing is, here I am actually writing a reference qualifier on this number of users field. Okay, so how do I do that is that I am first navigating to the table, or so I can directly navigate to this field. I can directly navigate to this field, the name of the users. So just right click, configure dictionary. It will directly navigate you to the respective field, number of users. In the number of users, so here you guys can see reference specifications, reference specification. So you can see reference specification only for reference field, list type fields. So here I'm just selecting advanced here. Here I have actually selected advanced here. So here I am using advanced reference qualifier, guys. Advanced reference qualifier. Okay. So while you are using advanced reference qualifier, right, you will have to use JavaScript colon. Okay, JavaScript colon. So here, so you are actually hiding the sysid, hiding the sysid. That means you are actually hiding that respective record. So sysid, sys underscore id not equal to plus current dot. What does current dot does? Current dot u underscore customer. So whatever you selected in the customer, don't show that record. Is what I am actually specifying here. Whatever you select in the customer field, don't show that record in the number of users. You are able to understand my point? So guys, do you guys understand what current object does? What is current object?
Current object, it holds the current form of values.
Yes, you're right. So I'm actually taking this customer field value. And what am I doing is, in the number of users dictionary, I'm actually keeping a reference qualifier saying like sysid not equal to current.u_customer. Okay. So now what am I doing is I'm actually updating this one. If I refresh this one, so now guys, if you have selected Rangareddy here, so here, if you try to select Rangareddy here, are you able to select Rangareddy here? Hello? Are you able to select Rangareddy here?
No.
No. Okay. So you have selected Uday Gadiparthi here. So consider you have selected system administrator here. So the same system administrator I am trying to select here. Am I able to select system administrator here?
No.
No. So I am just removing system administrator here. I am trying to select system administrator here. So I am able to select system administrator now. So here, if I try to select system administrator here, I will be able to. So here, if you select any caller, any customer, same customer you will not be able to select here. If you select any user here, same user you are able to select here. So now what am I doing is I am going to customer field now. So here I have written reference qualifier in the number of users. Right? Now I am actually writing reference qualifier on the customer field. Advanced reference qualifier, and so I am removing this one. JavaScript colon _ID not equal to plus. So now you guys can tell me current dot
View lister.
You underscore customer.
Yeah, view number of users. Yeah.
I'm just saving this one. Here I'm just refreshing this one. So here I am actually selecting system administrator here. So same system administrator I am actually trying to select here. So I am not able to select here. Not able to select system administrator here. So here in the customer and number of users, so you cannot select the same users. You cannot select the same users. Okay, you understand my point, right? What exactly I had done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So likewise, you will be writing, you will be writing the reference qualifiers. So majorly, just keep the thing in your mind that whenever you want to restrict the data that you can see in the reference fields. So let us say if any user has come to you, I am not able to see this record in this reference field, something like that, they will come to you. So immediately what you have to do, you have to take a look at reference qualifier. You guys are able to understand, right?
Yeah.
So I will give you one more example. So I am removing these reference qualifiers from here. Okay. So here my requirement is, let us say, if you have selected Abraham Lincoln, okay, you have selected Abraham Lincoln here. So Abraham Lincoln is department is what? Abraham Lincoln has no department. So consider able tutor. What is the department of able tutor? Product management. Product management is the department for able tutor. Okay. So if you have selected able tutor, right? What exactly is the department, right? Those department users should be appearing here. See, if able tutor belongs to product management department should be product management department user should be appearing here. That is what the requirement. Do you guys understand the requirement clearly?
Yes,
Yeah.
See, you have selected the customer able tutor. If this person belongs to product management management user should appear here. If the user that you have selected, that user belongs to sales department, all the sales department should be visible here. Okay, for that what we have to do? So we will have to go to number of users. Here you will have to select advanced JavaScript colon. Okay. Here you will keep condition like department equal to
Management.
current dot. No, we need to make this dynamic.
Okay.
Current dot u underscore customer dot what department. So we can actually dot walk the reference fields. So which I will be covering in later sessions. So I am just creating a reference qualifier here. So see here, if I refresh this one, I have selected able tutor here. Okay, if I go here, if I click on magnifying glass, only the records which belongs to product management should appear here. See here, I have selected this user. So this user belongs to product management only. See, this user belongs to product management. So I'll explain you in even more in detail. See here, all the product management department users are appearing here. Okay, if I select sales department users, so system administrator is part of HR department. So now if you click on this magnifying glass, all the HR department users will be appearing here. See, all the HR department users are appearing here. Do you guys understand what I have done here? Guys?
Yeah, but actually we use it for reference qualifier for number of users, right? But it's showing for the record module.
I didn't get you. What exactly?
Uday, in last time you created reference qualifier for the number of users, right? But now it is showing in next module. What is you created for the number of users reference qualifier, right? But it is showing for next module.
Which
Or the
module?
next module, current record something here. Here. Select. Okay. Oh, same. Okay,
Same.
understood. Yeah.
See, you are actually expanding it. This is actually log symbol.
Yeah. Understood.
Yeah. So whomever the user you select here, so based on that user department, the records will be appearing here. Hope you understand.
Yeah.
So now you guys can understand, right? What exactly is the purpose of reference qualifier? So reference qualifiers are used only in the reference fields. You don't see reference fields in the choice type. You don't see reference fields in the listed. You don't see reference qualifier in the mm, string fields, or you don't see reference qualifier in the image field, something like that. You will only see reference qualifier in the list type and reference type. Okay, hope you understand. The purpose of reference qualifier is if you want to limit the data that users can see in the reference fields, then you will be using reference qualifier. Clear?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, Uday.
Okay, that is fine. Now we will be discussing about dictionary overrides, guys. Dictionary overrides. So before that, to explain dictionary overrides in detail, what I have to do is I'll have to first, I'll have to have the setup first. To have the setup right, so what am I doing is I am going to create another table here. So how do I create the table?
Tables and system definition tables.
Yes. So we have flight issue. Okay, I am just opening the table that we have created. We have created the table, and this is the table that we have actually created. Now what am I doing is I am going to create a new table here. So that table name I am actually giving as flight issue task. Okay, this is the table that I am actually creating. So guys, here I am actually extending the flight issue table here. I am actually extending the flight issue table here. So am I able to extend here flight issue table?
No.
I am not able to extend flight issue table here. So when can we extend this flight issue table here is that in the controls, you will have to make this as extendable. So you can select this one, extendable. So then you will be able to select a flight issue table here in the extends table. Okay, now you are able to select a flight issue table here in the extends table, guys. So whatever the fields you have created here, whatever the fields that you have created here, so all those fields will come to the issue task table automatically. So whatever the fields that you see here in this table, right, flight issue table, so all those fields will be coming to the issue task table automatically. See, did we create all these fields? Did we create all these fields? Hmm?
No.
No, right? Then how did it get these fields created? Can you guys tell me?
Because we given extensible
Extends table as flight issue table.
flight issue.
So do you guys agree the fields that you are seeing here are from which table?
Flight issue.
Flight issue.
Flight issue table. The fields that you are seeing here, right? These fields are actually from flight issue table. So why are those coming to this flight issue task table? We are actually extending flight issue table here. So when can we extend this flight issue table? So when this table is actually extendable true, only then we can actually extend that table. Okay, hope you understand. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to application menus. In the application menus, there is a task created automatically. I'm adding this module under flight ticket issue. So here in the favorites, you guys can see okay, in the favorites, you guys can see Flight issue task is not there. This one also I am making it as favorite. So flight issue tasks. So if you click on new here, right, flight issue task, it is same as flight issue form. It is same as flight issue form. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
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 So the field is mandatory. The default value is up, and the default value is coming here. The description is coming here. That means whatever the changes we made in the dictionary, those are appearing here in the flight issue task as well. Right? Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Whatever the default value that I have written, whatever the field we have made mandatory, that mandatory also we are able to see it in the issue task table, flight issue task table. If you take a look at the flight issue form, there is the flight issue form. Okay. See here, the flight issue form and flight issue task form both are looking the same way. So if you go to the flight table, flight issue table, this is actually flight issue table. In the flight issue table, okay, if you make customer field as non-mandatory here, if you make customer field as non-mandatory here, okay, this will become non-mandatory in both the flight issue table. So it has become
No.
non-mandatory in the flight issue table, and it also
No.
will become non-mandatory in the flight issue task table as well. Okay.
Yeah.
If you remove the default value for short description, if you remove the default value for the short description, just removing this one, removing the default value as well. So the default value will be removed for both the flight issue short description and the flight issue task short description as well. See, the default value is removed here, the default value is removed here. So what exactly happening is this? Why exactly is happening this?
The same table content that we are using in task is same.
See, same fields that we are using here in the flight issue table, right? The same fields we are actually using in the flight issue task table. So if you have made change on the flight issue field, the changes will be applied on the flight issue task table as well. If you make customer field mandatory here, this will become mandatory in flight issue table and flight issue task table as well. So in the flight issue table, it has become mandatory. Here in the flight issue task table also, it will become mandatory. Okay. So what my customer is asking is that, so customer field should not be a mandatory one in the flight issue task table. Customer field should not be a mandatory field in the flight issue task table. And also short description should be mandatory one in the flight issue task table. Okay. Customer field should not be a mandatory one. Short description is mandatory one here in the flight issue task table. So how to achieve this one? So if you make short description as mandatory, this will become mandatory on the flight issue and flight issue task both. But as per my customer requirement, short description should only become mandatory in the flight issue task table. And customer should not be mandatory one in the flight issue task table. So as I have made this mandatory here, it has become mandatory in the flight issue and flight issue task. But as per the customer requirement, the flight issue task, this should not be a mandatory one, and short description should be a mandatory one. Did you guys understand the requirement clearly?
Yes, Uday.
Okay. So this is where the dictionary overrides concept will actually come into picture. Okay. So here you will go to respective field here. You will go to the customer. So customer is actually the field from flight issue table. You will just click here, go here. You will see dictionary overrides. So you will be able to see dictionary overrides concept here. Here in the dictionary overrides, you will just click on new. Okay, so here, right, whatever the tables that are actually extending flight issue table, those tables you will be able to see here. So flight issue table is being extended in only one table, that is actually flight issue task table. Okay, so here you are actually overriding the components. So which one you are overriding? Override mandatory. Mandatory false I am keeping. So I am just submitting this one. Now, if you guys can see, the customer is actually mandatory field in the flight issue, so it is not mandatory in the flight issue task. So in the flight issue task, is it mandatory?
No.
No. So here in the flight issue table, it is actually a mandatory field. In the flight issue task, it is not actually a mandatory field. Okay. So here, if you go to the short description field should be mandatory only in the flight issue task table. So I am just creating new here. So short description field, override mandatory and true. So flight issue will be flight issue short description will not be a mandatory one. Flight issue short description will not be a mandatory one. However, flight issue task will be a flight issue task short description will be a mandatory one now. You guys can see. See, flight issue short description is actually mandatory one. Okay. So guys, in the dictionary, what are all the things you can see here, right? In the dictionary, what are all the things you can see, like read only, mandatory, display, default value, dependent field, reference qualifier, choice list specification. All these things can be overridden in the dictionary overrides. If you open the dictionary override, you guys can see what are all the things you can actually override. See, override reference qualifier, override dependent field, override attributes, override default value, override calculated value, override mandatory, override read only, override display value. So all these attributes can be overridden in the child fields, child tables. Do you guys understand? So here in the flight issue table, here in the flight issue table, you should be able to select the user. But here in the flight issue task table, the customer name should be automatically populated. So that means I have to set up a default value only for flight issue task table. So what I have to do is I have to go to the customer, and there is already a dictionary override here. You can actually open this dictionary override. So here in this dictionary override, what do you do is that you will actually override the default value. Okay. Override default value, not display value. So JavaScript colon gs dot get user ID. Okay. Now, if you go and refresh this one, so is there any default value populated in the issue flight issue table? No, right? Is there any? So see here the default value is populated here. So default value is populated as current logged in user. So what are all the things that we can actually override in the parent table field, guys? Hello. Is there any confusion? Shamal, Avinash.
Mandatory fields.
So what are all the things we can override? We can override reference qualifier, dependent field, attributes, default value, calculated value, mandatory fields, display value. So these are all the components we can actually override from the dictionaries. Okay. So always remember, guys, if your customer has asked you to make the field mandatory, first you need to check whether the field is actually coming from extendable table, extends table or not. So first you need to check. You should not directly make the field mandatory. So if you make the field directly mandatory here, right, what exactly will happen is that will become mandatory in all the child tables. Okay, so you need to first understand. So whether the table, whether the field that is actually coming directly from the table or whether the field that is actually coming from any extents table or not. If it is actually coming from extents table, you will have to make sure you are writing dictionary overrides. Do you guys understand what I mean?
Yeah. So we shouldn't this dictionary override in the base table. We can't do dictionary override and base table.
So you can do only dictionary override on the base table. You cannot do you cannot actually do dictionary override on child tables.
But here table showing flight issue task there table.
Yeah. So see here, base table is actually flight issue table.
Okay.
So this table is actually extending this table.
Yeah.
The tables that you are seeing here, right? These are actually child tables.
So we are doing the base table.
See, we are actually overriding the things on flight issue task table.
Yeah, that's what I asked. So we shouldn't do in base table, as you say.
Yeah. Yeah. See, consider I have written a reference qualifier on this number of users, right? I have written a reference qualifier on the number of users, right? So that reference qualifier should not work on flight issue table. That should only work on flight issue task table. What do you do? The reference qualifier that you have written, right? So that reference qualifier should only work on the flight issue task table. It should not work on flight issue table. In this case, what do you do? Here you will actually write the dictionary override. So here you will actually override reference qualifier. You will keep it here. So this reference qualifier will only work for flight issue task table. You guys can see if you have selected able tutor here, able tutor belongs to which department? Product management. So here if you click on this magnifying glass, so you will be able to see all the department users, not only product department, product management. You will be able to see all department users. See, all the department users you are able to see. IT department, product management, customer support. But when it comes to the flight issue task, so the current logged in user is populated, right? What is the current logged in user department? HR department. If you click on this magnifying glass, you will be able to see only HR department users. See, only HR department users you are able to see. That means I have actually restricted the reference qualifier to only this table, flight issue task table. So that reference qualifier that we have written, right, that reference qualifier will not work on the flight issue table. It will only work on the flight issue task table. So how did we do that? So we have actually opened that this one. We have opened that number of users dictionary. Here we have actually written the reference qualifier, dictionary override. Here in the dictionary override, we have actually selected override reference qualifier. Here in this override reference qualifier, you are doing something like JAVASCRIPT colon department is equal to current dot u underscore department. Did it make sense to you? Hello.
Hello, Uday. Can we create multiple tasks from the base table or only one child table from the base table?
So you can create multiple child tables. So let me just show you. So like flight issue table, there is one primary table in the ServiceNow platform that is actually task table. Task table is actually the base table. So let me just go here. That task table is actually being extended by many tables. Okay, that we have discussed, right? Incident, problem, change, service request. All these are actually extending task table. We'll quickly show you. Incident dot config.
Uday incident at configure means it's showing that table.
It will actually show you the configurations that are related to incident table. So these many business rules, these many client scripts, these many dictionaries. So these are all the dictionaries that are there on the incident table. So if you do flight issue.config, u underscore so it will show you the configurations that are related to flight issue. See here, there are actually 40 dictionaries. No client scripts, no business rules, no dictionary overrides. So no dictionary entry overrides. Notifications, UI actions, ACLs are there, UI policies, no data policies, styles, view rules. We had created one view rule. And
So
there is
dictionary
no provision.
entries in the sense fields,
So
right?
here in the dictionary entry overrides, why are we not able to see dictionary entry overrides? We will see flight issue task config. Go underscore.
Spelling mistake.
Yep. So these many overrides are there, and these many dictionary entry overrides are there. These many dictionaries are there, and this is the configuration about this one. So let me directly go to the table. So incident dot do. So from the form, I want to go to the table. So incident is actually extending which table? Task table. So if you go here, if you see, if you open any dictionary here, so incident is actually extending task table. So if you open configuration item, so configuration item is actually field is coming from task table. Here, if you just click on dictionary overrides, you guys can see task table child tables. So this is actually task table is actually base table. Under the task table, these are the tables that are actually extending task table. Okay, so incident is one of the table which is actually extending task table. Incident task. Problem is also one of the table which are extending problem task table. So change is also one of the table which is extending a task table. So request item. So request is also extending task table. Request item is also extending task table. See, requested item is also one of the table that is actually extending task table. So task table is actually base table, which is being extended in many tables, guys. Okay. So likewise, so flight issue is actually base table. So the flight issue table is being extended in flight issue task table. Do you guys understand what I have actually explained?
Yeah.
Hello. So if you open the dictionary, any dictionary, guys, if you open any dictionary, the ones which you are seeing here, right, like read only, mandatory, display, attributes, default value, calculated, dependent, reference specification, this attributes. So everything can be overridden from the parent table using dictionary overrides. Do you guys understand, or do I have to explain the things again?
Please recap, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay, guys, we'll wind up for today. If you guys have no questions, and we'll come up with a new queries. We'll come up with a new topic tomorrow. Okay. So that is actually UI policies. Okay. We are winding up for today, and we'll see you tomorrow then. Thank you.
Hello there.
Yeah, Navin.
Sorry, is there any difficulty in sharing the videos?
There is no difficulty. We are actually maintaining the drive. You will be provided access to the drive. So you may have to contact admin team. Admin team will actually provide the access.
So who is that admin team?
Sorry, Navin.
So who I need to contact?
You will have to contact admin team. So I'll provide you the admin team contacts. Okay. I'll share the
Because
admin team
if you
contact.
don't receive the videos, it is really difficult to follow because it seems to understand on the same day, on the following day, we could not be able to remember everything, you know.
I understand. So, yeah, you can inform Srikanth to reach out our admin team. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, okay, guys, we'll see you tomorrow then.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.